We're underway.
Yeah, outside line broken up quite a bit here. Pretty good start for the inside line. Smith, oh my! Kind of showed his hand to the outside line and then dove right back in front of McKinnon. You got to be careful. McKinnon will not let you back in easy.
No, Jeremy McKinnon is probably not the person that Jeff Smith wants to see in his mirror. McKinnon wants to be in the front and stay in the front. The lap 1 goes to Jeff Smith.
Peyton is going to go high, and he goes a little bit higher than he wanted to. He almost gets up into the wall. Oh, and he gets loose up there, and he goes straight down the racetrack into Benzie. Those are the two that make contact initially. And then everybody else trying to get checked up. Nathan Reynolds plows into the back of Benzie. Benzie and Peyton had come straight up the racetrack, and then more contact. To pile on 130-degree track temperature.
Oh, Paul Ellison!
Ellison!
Oh, boy. And he is going to save it. Wow. And that was running the bottom. He was in second.
From the front of that field.
Oh, Peyton in the wall!
Evasive action from Patton Schlosser. J.J. Wang graciously moves up a lane to let the back in. Now Luke Peterson's in the wall.
Goodness gracious.
Out of turn 4, then comes up the track into Patton. Patton just had a gigantic run on him. Pushes Patton into the wall, and then Jeff Smith, who was behind him, was not expecting him to be that slow. Smashes right into the back of Guimond and sends him into the grass.
Still backs up. McKinnon now is free to roam, and he will go to the outside this time. Wow, Engrave.
Was there contact with Engrave
looked
there?
like it. Oh, Hunter is going to slow it down and keep it down on the apron. He had room to come back on up at pace. So that is unfortunate. You should be able to tack onto the back of this group here, no problem.
I think McKinnon went across that back bumper of Engrave as he was trying to get to the top.
I think so.
Engrave, I'm surprised to even see him save the truck.
Ooh.
It's awfully close there between Sanders and McKinnon.
Oh!
McKinnon pushes him off the track.
Oh, no. Sanders going to get it woed down, maybe. Oh, man. Just kept it off the rest of the pack there.
So now Sanders is slow, trying to tack on to the rest of the field. As we keep moving on, you don't want to do that too many times, or somebody's going to squeeze their way underneath you.
Yes. Oh, problems! We got a wreck! Benzie and Sanders involved. Mike Berry, Alan Phillips, Daryl Klotz. Oh, man.
We're 3 wide here. Benzie, Mike Berry on the outside, Alan Phillips in the 25 in the middle. And Benzie, I think, moves up the track a little bit, trying to get good entry into the corner. Phillips kind of angled down to make that turn. The two of them get together, get right up into Mike Berry, pushes him hard into the wall. Klotz involved a bit there as well.
The calm before the storm. Oh, Paul Ellison is on his side in the quad oval. He's now back down on all 4 tires.
Nicholas and McKinnon get together.
One more time around, it's Jeffrey Oakes at the line. Sanders on the inside. Oakes down to side draft, a little contact. Siddle is loose on the apron. Sanders with Engrave behind him. Out of 4. Gavin Sanders is going to pull it off. After two very interesting races the last 2 weeks at North Wilkesboro and Atlanta, the two driver-voted ovals on the schedule this season, we close out the driver voting for what very well could be the cream of the crop in terms of interesting schadenfreude races, the Charlotte Roval. And since all signs are pointing to the fact that the Charlotte Roval will not be appearing on any NASCAR schedule in 2024, this will be a preemptive memorial race for the Roval and probably a fitting send-off for it, as it is the R.I.P. Roval 200K here tonight. Round number 8 of the second season of Truck 255 laps here tonight in the infield of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Howdy folks, it's Tommy Cook here. Matt Williamson will be along momentarily. Before we get into tonight's qualifying session, let's go and take a look at the points after 7 rounds of racing action. Of course, no surprise to see Caleb Bensey up top with his 3 victories, but he had a by far season worst finish last week at Atlanta, DNF 27th place for the driver that had up to that point yet to finish off the podium this season. But still, over a full race advantage over Hunter Engrave, who has climbed now to second. TJ Crampton, after missing the last 2 weeks, no provisional last week for Crampton, so he has slipped down to third in the points. Gavin Sanders, last week's race winner, after missing the first couple of races this season, all of a sudden, he is now up to fourth in the standings. And Roland Holt now rounds out the top 5. Gavin Sanders, last week's winner at Atlanta, and Caleb Bensey, the current points leader, odds-on favorites to win here tonight at the Roval, but once they make that left through Heartburn turn after the green is dropped, anything and everything can and will happen. 200 kilometers to settle the final road course of the season here tonight at the Charlotte Roval. It's around the turn on turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon deep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Welcome one and all to the spectacle that is sure to be the R.I.P. Roval 200K. Trucks are on track for qualifying for round number 8 of the second season of Truck 200. You are here on turn 200 with the ringleaders, Tommy Cook and Matt Williamson. Welcome to the Roval. Practice was certainly a practice session that we've held in series history.
Yeah, there's obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but for those that don't know, there is not a setup by iRacing for the trucks here at the Roval. So we have created a setup here, and it's a little non-conventional, and some of the drivers are having a hard time getting used to it. But as practice has continued, we've certainly seen times get better, especially for some specific drivers. So everybody's just still trying to get kind of attached to it, get those all 4 tires comfortably on the surface at the same time. And I think we're headed in the right direction here.
See, I had a bit of a cheat code when we ran into this situation last season. Of course, we put ourselves in a box when we ran Interlagos, but Interlagos had the same sort of dynamic as Circuit of the Americas in terms of elevation and some of the sweeping turns there. So with a couple of gear changes and a couple of air pressure adjustments, Interlagos was a piece of cake last year because we sort of had something to go off of. There is no similar setup for the Charlotte Roval. And normally that wouldn't be a problem because you would think, oh, well, surely somebody on the internet somewhere has got a Charlotte Roval truck setup. But there's not a whisper of one anywhere on the World Wide Web. So, yeah. We didn't have a setup to go off of, and you know what? It's shown. These drivers are having a tough time. Really, it's somewhat manageable until you get into some of these lower speed turns, especially the bus stop. Not only is handling a big issue going into the bus stop, wheel hopping is ridiculous into the bus stop. It is, it feels like you're in a lowrider with hydraulics. That's how much you're bouncing. If you come up on a shift too quick or you miss your braking zone, you are in serious trouble. So everybody's going to have to be minded here.
Oh, and we see Michael Dean. He sends it into the bus stop there and goes completely sideways into the wall. We were on board there with Gavin Sanders while you were kind of describing the difficulties we had getting set up and everything. And we saw Sanders bouncing very hard off the turtles and almost to the track limits, but ends up setting the fastest time of either of the sessions we've seen so far. He's gotten into the 121s to take the pole for right now, and I think we'll have the pole once this thing ends, and that is the fastest we've seen here tonight. So these drivers are getting a little bit more comfortable, Sanders being one of them. He was fastest in practice as well, but not nearly that time. He shaved almost another half a second off.
Yeah, we were remarking just before we came on air that, wow, Caleb Bensi just turned the fastest overall lap in the session, and he went faster than Gavin Sanders by a couple of tenths. Or about 6 or 7 tenths actually on his final lap, and it was like, wow, Bensi struggled a little bit, put up some good laps late, and then came out of the gate strong with a huge lap in qualifying. But then Sanders just blew that out of the water by almost half a second. So that is incredible stuff by Gavin Sanders. A 1:21.771 is the time that will go up on the scoring charts. Got a couple of drivers that are on the end of pit road, but nobody is looking particularly desperate to get out on track, mainly because I don't think they're going to be able to get around to complete a lap at this point, or even start a lap, actually. So what we got is what we got, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess. I don't know. We have 25 drivers getting ready to take to the Roval here. Matt, I'm going to turn the starting grid over to you when we get to that point, just so I can do a couple of quick admin things before these drivers roll off. And then after you're done with that, you could tell the fine folks what we're expecting out of this race here tonight, other than pure unadulterated chaos for the majority of it.
Yeah, I think one of those little tidbits we usually go over at the beginning of the road courses could come into play here tonight. We will highlight that here when we get to it. We've got about 15 seconds here before we get to where we can see the starting grid. So here in just a few seconds, we'll get that for everybody out there, and we will get this dog and pony show on the road.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who has come out to support Truck 200 on Turn 200. We greatly appreciate it. And now, with the starting lineup for tonight's R.I.P. Roval 200K, here is the one and only Matt Williamson.
Alrighty, folks, we already mentioned it. Gavin Sanders putting up the fastest lap we have seen thus far in either practice or qualifying. He puts in a 1:21.77 to capture this pole here at the Roval. Caleb Bensi, current series points leader, is right there neck and neck behind him. Bensi will start on the outside of Sanders. Starting in third, it's J.J. Wang, who we expect to do pretty well on the road courses here. Wang struggled a little bit earlier in practice, but was able to put a good one together, so Wang will start in third. Roland Holtz, who is definitely good on these road courses. In the stock cars, Holt will start on the outside of that second row. After that, we have Dakota DeMade starting 5th, Matt Schlosser on his outside in 6th. On the 4th row, it'll be Mike Berry and then Matt Johnston. Dan Miglin and Cody Claiborne will round out the top 10. Starting in 11th, it's Steve Roman and Paul Ellison, a couple of guys very familiar with each other, starting there on the 6th row. As we go farther back, Dave Payton starts 13th, Josh Kreider 14th, Matt Houston, Jeff Smith in the 15th and 16th positions consecutively. And the 17th, Troy Thomas, Michael Dean, who we saw fly into the wall there in qualifying. He will start in the 18th position. In 19th, Kyle Zittle, and rounding out the top 20 here will be Noah Blackwell in 20th. Then here towards the back of the field, Jeff Oakes will start 21st, Jeremy McKinnon 22nd, Brantley Gainey 23rd, Darrell Klotz 24th, and our last driver on the grid will be Pascal Samard in 25th.
I do believe we have lost Pascal Savard, actually. Matt Houston and Dave Payton EOLs for avoidable contact out of Atlanta last week in a crazy race there. Another crazy one here tonight, Matt. Thank you for the starting grid. And now, what are we going to be taking a look at here as this race rolls along?
Well, we'll take a look at the weather. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the setup, but also 105 degrees on the track temperature. So pretty warm conditions here on the road course as well. That's not helping matters. So definitely a tough test ahead of the drivers tonight. They're going to need to be patient here as this one rolls along. It'll be 55 laps here tonight. Fuel window is a one-stopper, but may see 2 stoppers for tires here out of the group tonight. We'll have to see. Just depends on how comfortable you are, I think. 0 fast repairs, 3 extra sets of tires. Probably going to use at least 1, maybe 2. There are no cautions, full course cautions, unless we have a big pileup here, a track blocker on the first lap, which may be possible tonight. Usually we don't see that, but the setup with the track temperature and a difficult first few corners here at the Roval, it could be possible, so we'll have to look out for that one. There is no incident limit, so there's no penalties or disqualifications for incidents here.
Navigating out of the infield onto oval turn 1. I mean, in a normal race here, there's so many trouble spots. It's just that much more exacerbated than what it normally would be here. It's a tough task here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it is a difficult track. I mean, even with a proper setup, it is not an easy track. The bus stop, very difficult. You carry so much speed there into the bus stop. And then, you know, some of the first few corners, I think, are very difficult as well, especially those 2 corners right before you get back out onto the oval. And it's difficult, and the track temperature mixed with tough setup, yeah, definitely going to be tough here. Patience will be key. I think that's why we see Gavin Sanders on the pole here. He is one of the best at just being patient and taking things as they come to him. And it's paid off for him. We'll have to see how it pays off for everybody else.
Final few moments of respite before all hell is going to break loose at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Roval. That's the final road course race of the year, and there are going to be quite a few drivers rejoicing that fact when 55 laps come and go. Pace truck is off. It's Sanders and Bensi, the 2 odds-on favorites to take the win, leading the field to green. We're underway. Side by side for the lead.
See Sanders edge out Bensi there. Bensi kind of, I think, just backed it up a little. Sanders pretty wide there.
Most of the field is minded in the first few turns. A couple of drivers starting from the pits, now making their way onto the track. Single file most of the way through.
JJ Wang giving Bensy about all he can handle right now as well.
And JJ has been right on these two drivers' heels in practice times. This is one that he is very much looking forward to tonight. Heels on the practice charts, and now quite literally going to be on the heels or on the door going into the bus stop. He's going to lock it up. Oh, Bensy locks it up to save it. Boy, oh boy, that was an aggressive move early in this one. It's going to cost Bensy now the second position as Roland Holt has gone through. Wang has lost 3 positions now.
Yeah, big mistake there from Wang, and Bensy had a heck of a time getting control of that truck to keep it moving. A little bit of contact here between Schlosser and Matt Johnston as well.
Bensy underneath of Holt. Holt wide into the heartburn turn. Oh, man.
Wow. A lot of action here in the first lap and a half. Not even really that 2 lap and a half yet. When we get a chance, we'll take a look back at that crash with Roland Holt. We just kind of saw the beginning. Oh! Johnston! He slides it through this corner. He's still trying to hang on to that thing. Johnston slides it wide through those. Those are that's a difficult set of corners right there. Flat right-handers. And Johnson loses 1 position to Schlosser. Now Miglin trying to get around him as well.
Back to the bus stop now for most of the drivers where the big stack-up happened last time through.
Up front, Sanders still out front, about 3/4 of a second in front of Bensy. And Wang has gotten back to 3rd after losing a couple of spots there as well. Cody Claiborne is all over the 8 of Dan Miglin here as they cross the start-finish line.
The good news for Caleb Bensy, he's got all that time to make up, but he just set the purple lap of the race.
Well,
yeah,
the moment here.
I was going to say, the contact there, I mean, we've got quite a bit to sift through here, actually.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take back a look at that crash with Roland Holt. This is coming to the start-finish line here. And Holt just not a very good run off the turtles there on that last little chicane. Bensy gets to the inside of him. And Holt just sends it wide. He just doesn't get it slowed down in time. Right into the outside wall. That's right where we saw Harvick basically do the exact same thing in the Cup Series last year. Or that was 2 years ago.
That was, yeah, I think that was 2 years ago. And what just happened to, or what happened to Roland Holt just happened to Michael Dean as well. Unfortunately, Dean has a meatball flag out of the brush with heartburn turn. Gavin Sanders, Caleb Bensy keep trading purple laps back and forth. So Bensy going quicker, and he's bringing JJ Wang with him, but only a couple of tenths at a time here. Still about 3.3 seconds back from the race leader.
Currently watching this battle that continues between Johnson, Miglin, and Claiborne, all kind of here together. Claiborne all over Miglin right now. Johnston is sliding the rear tires of this truck all over the place. And a lot of drivers are, but him in particular, you can see just how much it's stepping out on him. I think that's going to hurt him pretty badly in the long run here.
And I think you mentioned it in the opening, but it's a one-stopper on fuel. But, I mean, I would not be at all shocked to see a 2-stop strategy from somebody that is absolutely clamoring for tires.
Yeah, especially a little bit farther back in the pack if you know you have a big gap between you and the next person or you and the person behind you. You know, probably no harm in trying to come and get tires just so you feel comfortable throughout the race. and you know, you don't make any big mistakes that's gonna ruin it for you. If you're struggling real bad, maybe a good idea to come get some freshies and at least put your mind at ease a little bit to know you can at least make it to the end of the race comfortably.
The first time asking, is this AI? No, these are real people in sim cars. This is iRacing. Appreciate you coming to hang out, but they are doing their very best to wheel and deal here.
And trust me, they care just as much as if they were driving real cars or not.
Yes.
Claiborne's still trying to work over Dan Miglin here, just can't quite get there. Difficult, very difficult to make passes here too, being so unsettled in the truck. You just don't feel confident trying to make a pass on somebody. It makes it really difficult. Big battle here between Gainey and Kyle Zittel. Jeremy McKinnon in this as well. McKinnon just got through on Zittel. Zittel sent a little bit too hard there into that one.
Zittel rocking a great paint scheme here tonight. I believe it's going to make, it's going to be one of the schemes in rotation for Venom Truck Series on Tuesday nights, but it's seeing its debut here tonight. Top 5, Sanders, Bensey, Wang, DeMade, and Schlosser. Matt Johnson has a bit of a slowdown penalty, I think, that he needs to serve, and he's doing it right now. But unfortunately, that is going to bring Miglin and Claiborne right back to his tailgate here.
And McKinnon gets through on Gainey here, so McKinnon up quite a few spots. He's up to 14th now.
Yeah, McKinnon actually started from the pits, so even more time loss than starting from 22nd. So he has done a nice job here.
Here are those three that we've kind of watched a lot tonight that you just mentioned: Johnston, Miglin, and Claiborne. Johnston sits in 6th right now.
First time we've seen Johnson back since his rather tumultuous race at Texas. Really well at the Daytona road course before he found his way out of that race. So looking to fare a lot better here, doing a nice job here on, or rather coming to lap number 7. As the gap is stabilized out front. In fact, Gavin Sanders has put a couple of more tenths on Caleb Bensey the last couple of laps. After the contact with Bensey and J.J. Wang, is there much visible damage to Caleb Bensey? I'm kind of have to be zoomed out to make sure I'm paying attention to everything.
Trying to take a look here. I don't really see much on the right side. Really not anything on the left side either. I mean, the truck looks fairly clean. Of course, we've mentioned it a couple of times here in the broadcast recently. The damage model change that happened earlier this year. These trucks can take pretty big hits and really not be affected. It seems like that is probably the case here with Bensey.
Two drivers just found their way right side into the heartburn turn. Jeremy McKinnon was one of them. Jeff Smith was the other. Smith, unfortunately, I believe, has a meatball flag after the contact.
Yeah, McKinnon didn't even lose a spot. Still out in front of Gainey right now. So definitely hurt the run that he had, or the momentum and rhythm that he had, but did not lose a spot over it. In second, J.J. Wang not too far behind. It's almost 2.5 seconds though. Gavin Sanders continues to lead, continues to extend the lead as well, up almost to 4 seconds is the interval between him and Bensey now.
Matt Schlosser has caught Dakota DeMay. This will be the battle for fourth.
And Schlosser's had
there he
some
goes.
really. Oh yeah.
DeMay got a little bit wide there in
Yeah.
that little chute, and that opened the door for Schlosser to go through.
Yeah, got wide and a pretty big wiggle there out of the 82. So Schlosser goes through, and Schlosser's had some really good runs as of late. Looking to have another one here. Looking great early on here at the Roval.
Schlosser almost got that first podium a couple of weeks ago at North Wilkesboro. Finished one spot shy. Gap has opened up front to 4 seconds now for Sanders over Benson. Looks like Paul Ellison and Steve Vroman are pretty close together here, headed into the Hartford turn. This will be the battle for the final spot in the top 10.
And they just cannot ever get away from each other. It seems like the 55, double nickels, and double O just are always together.
Well, unfortunately for Paul Ellison, he ended up on his side last week at Atlanta. Steve Roman, the opposite, was pretty quiet all night, and then all of a sudden, at the end of it, ended up on the podium.
Well, here goes Claiborne all over the back bumper of the 8. This one has been brewing the entire race. Miglin able to stave off Claiborne for now. Oh, Miglin! Wow, looked really unsettled there on entry to the bus stop. Claiborne looking for the inside here as they come back out onto the big oval. Miglin's on the wall.
It doesn't take much to wheel hop it, and once you do, those rear tires get hot, hot, hot. It is tough to put the power down. That is exactly what just happened to Dan Miglin there. So Claiborne up to 7th now.
Yeah, that 8 truck looking really, really loose right now.
Take a couple of laps, cool the rear tires down, try and keep Claiborne as close as possible, and then maybe mount another offensive. Oh, Claiborne going to go wide, way wide into the first few turns there. But Miglin does not really reel him in. That was almost, he almost went into the tire barriers there. He was way wide.
We saw that on the first lap out of him, too. I actually think that may just be, I don't know if he wants to get that wide, but it seems like that is the preferred line, is to get pretty far outside of the blue lines here.
Matt Johnson through the chute just cracked the wall pretty hard, but keeps motoring on. No meatball. Looking for big movers, and the two biggest movers are in 13th and 14th. They both started from the pits, Jeremy McKinnon and Brantley Gainey.
Yeah, unfortunately for McKinnon, next up for him is Roland Holt. Roland Holt is 26 seconds in front of him.
Yes.
The long ways to go. Oh, and somebody's in the wall. That's Jeff Smith.
Oh, man.
Into the wall there on the bus stop. Here's a replay of Smith. This has been probably the most difficult section of the track for most drivers here tonight. And actually doesn't really get into the wall there. He just spins it out and waits for the rest of those drivers to go by before continuing.
It's particularly there, and also into the left-hander turn 1 is really where this truck sucks. There's no other way around it. It's just not good.
It's just tough to get slowed down. Like you said, it wheel hops pretty bad. And, carrying that much speed, that bus stop is a little bit tighter than the Daytona bus stop. And it's just hard. It's just not easy at all to navigate.
Man, this is an easy one for a lot of drivers to just say, no, I'm not going to run this. This is not my bag. And you know what? Fair play to them. But 25, really 24 drivers came out tonight and are giving it their all out here on the track, and that's all we can ever ask for. So greatly appreciate all the drivers who have come here tonight, and appreciate you for stopping by here as well to watch the stream. If you're liking what you see so far, leave us a like. Think about subscribing as well. We are knocking on the door of 500.
Yeah, and as soon as we hit 500 and we get approved for the benefits we get from hitting that 500 subscriber mark, we have something special in the works. I don't want to give out too many details, but it could be very chaotic, which is kind of what we live for here. At turn 200. So if you want to make that possible, tell your friends and family to come on over here and hit that sub button. It is absolutely 100% free. Go ahead, make 5 accounts with 5 different emails and subscribe to them with all of them for us. Oh, and there's a problem. I think that was Troy Thomas who...
Oh, man.
Actually, no, it wasn't Troy Thomas.
I was going to say, looks fine on my camera.
It was actually Noah Blackwell. Thomas ended up getting... is right behind Blackwell here. I don't think Blackwell actually went around, but was just completely sideways there when Sanders was right in front of him. Sanders had just gone through.
Blackwell was just outside of the top 10 not a couple of laps ago, so something must have happened. And he looks like he is walking the back end of this truck out crazy. It has just started to really drift on him, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely big problems. I do see where he crashed on lap 9 here, I think. So we'll maybe try to take a replay and take a look at what happened there. But pretty close battle on the track right now. Jeff Oaks is caught up to Brantley Gainey. And Oaks looking pretty good on the long run here at Charlotte Roval.
Tell you what, Jeff Oaks is quietly putting together a really solid season here. Just got his first career top 5 last week. If he wouldn't have got taken out on the final lap at Homestead, he'd be in the top 10 in points. As there's Gainey way wide, and Oaks is going to go around. So move Jeff Oaks now up to 14th. I believe Oaks finished 12th at the Daytona Road Course.
And Noah has crashed again and jumped to the pits. I think after he had an issue, just was having a really tough time. I think just had a lot of damage to the truck.
Yeah, and he and Josh Kreider, actually, both teammates there, have disconnected. So, not the night that Rubbered Up Racing was looking for, that is for sure. Again, appreciate them coming out and trying here tonight.
Battle between Vroman and Ellison continues here. Ellison trying to get a wide entry onto the big oval, and it pays off big time. Look at the huge run Ellison gets. Gets that thing up to speed a lot faster than Vroman.
Vroman, I think, had a little bit of wheel spin on the transition there, but you're right. I mean, a great line and a clean getaway for Paul Ellison there. Vroman a little bit wide. It's real familiar there with the wall out of the bus stop.
Yeah,
Gap up front. Oh, go ahead.
That wall kind of sneaks up on you. You know, this is most similar to kind of the Daytona road course, I guess. And Daytona, you can get really wide there out of the bus stop, but not here at Charlotte.
No. certainly not. Gap up front has really just exploded. It was 5.6 seconds at the line. Now it is 6.6 seconds. So in half a lap, Gavin Sanders has opened it up by an extra, an extra second. But Bensy has pulled away from JJ Wang by about 3 seconds now.
Mike Berry just got past Dan Miglin for 9th. Miglin's still all over the back of the 28 here, though, trying to continue this run.
Oh, problems in the bus stop. Jeff Smith has gone around. It sounded like he made contact with either the wall or somebody on his way through. Trey Thomas was awfully close to the scene there. And so was Matt Schlosser, who's riding at 4th.
Oh, and Matt Schlosser actually got into the outside wall trying to get slowed down for the bus stop also.
Ah.
Smith did not make contact with anybody there.
That's good.
But I think what you heard was probably Schlosser actually getting into the wall, trying to get slowed down. The truck just wiggled out real bad on him and just couldn't quite hang on to it. But not a real big hit, so should be okay other than lighting those tires up. Now, Ellison and Vroman, who we've been watching pretty closely battling with each other, they have caught up to Dan Miglin and Mike Berry here. So looking to be a 4-truck battle. This would all be for the 8th position.
Berry is in need of a good run here tonight. He has been struggling the last couple of weeks. I would say not through any fault of his own. Has been caught up in somebody else's mess the last 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of speed out of him. Still in the top 10. He's sitting in the 10th spot in points right now. But
yep.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He has definitely had some bad luck this season. Wow.
I think we jinxed him. Oh, Ellison goes around behind him. Ellison is all the way around and into the paint. So Ellison is going to lose a spot now to Steve Roman and Roland Holt. But has a lot of room behind him.
Well, we saw Ellison jump the curb big time there, right behind Miglin. Miglin, a really good run here.
Oh, he's going to send it. He might find himself. No, wow. What an excellent job braking there. I thought that was overcooked by a mile. And he gets that thing low down and takes the spot. Incredible.
A lot of action. Oh, and Berry.
Ooh. Hang on to it. Once you get those hot, it's going to be tough to hold on to it for the next few turns.
We'll go back and look at Ellison here in a second. As we continue, Berry try to corral this thing. He's got Steve Roman right behind him now. Here we go into the bus stop again. Vroman sends it pretty hard there. Able to keep control of the truck, though.
I think he's sensing a little bit of blood in the water here. Berry's struggling a little bit at this point in the run. Vroman's done a nice job.
Let's go ahead. Take a look. This is Berry and Ellison trying to get stopped. You can see Ellison sent it a lot harder. Then Ellison jumps the curbing on the inside of the bus stop there, and those tires did not like that. He ends up doing a full 360 to get turned back around.
I'm sure probably not a lot of things on the truck like that very much. I'm sure the truck is probably a little angry with him. But, you know, it's hard getting into the bus stop. It really is.
And if we were going to see two-stop races, this is probably about the time you would start coming in. So maybe the driver's not really concerned with the sets of tires and are starting to find maybe a little bit of a rhythm.
I would imagine
don't want to mess that up.
We've got 15 trucks.
Vroman!
Oh,
Looked
man.
like Vroman may have tapped the back of Barry, but they keep control of it. Vroman did a really nice job of not getting and plowing into the back of the 28. But Vroman smoked the tires a little bit, and I think he's going to struggle here for the next little bit.
I would imagine the drivers probably 10th to 15th maybe we're going to be the ones to look at a two-stop race here. Because, I mean, really, what have they got to lose at this point? We got 15 trucks on the lead lap.
I'm sitting here looking at Paul Ellison, who just went around. He's 7 seconds behind Holt. He has 23 seconds back to Jeremy McKinnon, who's in 13th. I mean, I think that he's probably got the best opportunity of anybody to try that.
He's going to slot into line if he would do that, maybe 5 to 10 seconds behind Jeremy McKinnon on much fresher tires here. But have to make another pit stop, obviously. But it's interesting. We'll see. One concern I know that was raised, I got asked by a couple of different people here tonight when the bonus points are given at halfway. So some drivers may be basing their strategy around picking up some extra bonus points here. You never know how it's going to shake out down the stretch, especially with the next few races we got coming up.
Speaking of that, when are bonus points being paid here, Tom?
At the conclusion of lap 28. So when lap 29 goes on the board, that is when bonus points will be paid out.
And Barry has gotten around Miglin again here. So Miglin struggling a little bit here on the long run. Barry able to get Miglin there through the bus stop. Miglin has definitely had some issues there. I think the bus stop is probably his problem point on the track, as it is for a lot of the drivers, but maybe a little bit more so for the 8 here.
I don't know. I'm still impressed with his move into the heartburn turn a couple of laps ago. That was incredible, but maybe took a little bit of life out of these tires that he would like to have back about now. Not too far behind this threesome is Roland Holt in 11th. He has tracked these guys down.
Yeah, Holt, after big issues, continuing to try and fight his way back into the top 10. And you're right, Roland Holt just came into the battle overlay that we have here, a little over 2 seconds behind Mike Berry, but does not put him far behind Steve Roman.
You know he's got the pace. He qualified 4th. He was running in 2nd when he found his way into the wall in turn 1 and has been fighting back ever since. It is 7.5 seconds from Caleb Bensey up to the race leader, Gavin Sanders. If things continue the way they are now, I don't think we're in for the classic that we were in for at the Daytona Road Course. Sanders has been wicked fast here all night.
Yeah, Sanders has bested Bensey for most of the night here tonight.
It's Sanders, Bensey, Wang, Schlosser, and DeMade. A who's who of road course ringers here in the top 5. Matt Johnson, Cody Claiborne, Mike Berry, Dan Miglin, and Steve Roman in the top 10 for now. Michael Dean around in the bus stop. He has had a tough go of things, not just tonight, but also last week at Atlanta. The first time we mentioned his name all night, the next lap around, he knocked down the wall in the tri-oval.
Problems for Miglin. Out.
Oh, no.
He has struggled greatly getting out of the bus stop. Spins the tires again. It allows Vroman and Roland Holt to get by. So Miglin outside of the top 10 now.
Oh, and he's going to go around now. And that is a precarious spot.
Oh, he's going to pull right in front of Ellison.
Oh, man.
Ellison just taps the outside wall, but will lose a lot of time here. That was Dave Payton in 38 pulling over to let some of the lead lap drivers by. Payton sitting back in 20th place right now. Payton's one of those guys that's pretty new to iRacing in general. So still just trying to get as much experience and practice in as he can. Certainly a tough task here tonight. Not only the setup and the Roval itself, but some drivers with a lot more experience here as well.
I mean, he had some pretty notable problems last week at Atlanta, but I mean, he is absolutely putting in the time to get better on the sim here. He's doing fantastic work here, like you said, brand new to iRacing. So, I mean, it is, for him to put up a qualifying lap here tonight, to want to put up a qualifying lap here tonight, I think speaks volumes about the confidence that you need to drive a truck here and drive it well. He's doing a fine job out here tonight, no matter what the scoreboard says.
Last Daryl Clausen, 14, doing the same. Letting Vroman and Barry by here. Vroman's still trying to catch up to the 28. Just cannot quite get there.
Caleb Bensi almost 10 seconds behind Gavin Sanders at this point. It is an absolute clinic. Sanders, it wouldn't be 4 races in a row for him because he missed North Wilkesboro, but looking for 3 races, 3 race victories in his last 3 starts if he were able to get it done tonight.
And Sanders, probably a lot of confidence coming in to tonight here. Won the last
He's
road
been winning
course,
a lot lately.
won in Atlanta, has won 4 races in the ASRL Southern Shores Realty Sports Car Championship. On Wednesday nights here on the channel, he's won both races 2 weeks in a row in the GT4 class. So Sanders, has to be really feeling himself and has all the confidence in the world coming into tonight. And it is obviously showing here.
Yeah, to sweep a competition class in a GT series 4 races into the season, when the other classes had 4 different winners in their 4 races, that is ridiculous.
And I hate to say it, but it really hasn't been close.
No, it hasn't. Matt Johnson from 6th is going to be the first lead lap driver onto pit road here on lap number 24.
All right, so a little bit of an undercut here for the 404 to Johnston. We're back on board with Steve Roman, by the way. Still trying to chase down Barry. He gets so close and just can't quite put the move together. See how hard he's working the wheel, how loose the truck is. How it just wants to slide around. But pulled right up to the back of Barry here. Downshift here through this set of corners. Oh, touches
Ooh.
the inside wall.
That was a little more than a touch. That was pretty hard contact.
Oh, and you can hear it. And now struggling a bit, trying to put the power down.
And that, it's got him all out of sorts. I would imagine that is a bit of a shell shock there.
He's been close to these walls all night long, but hasn't really touched one yet.
Matt Schlosser in fourth nearly just went around. I mean, he is walking the back end of this truck.
And Holt now trying to catch up to Vroman and Barry again. You can see him there in the background. Oh, and Johnston.
Oh, Dan Miglin is around in the bus stop. He's going to find some time here to get back across the track and get rolling again.
And Johnston, who came into pit, came out behind Paul Ellison. So Ellison went to 10th for a minute. Johnston was in 11th. Johnston on fresh tires has now gotten back around Ellison.
So that's going to give him over 30 laps on this final stint here. That's going to be a tough close to this race. Dan Miglin is now on pit road, so he is driver number 2. Should also mention Brantley Gainey, one of the first trucks a lap down, came in on the same lap as Matt Johnson.
Yeah, and there's a few drivers here in the back of the pack outside the top 20 that have been in pretty early here on in this one. About 15th, between 15 and 20 laps in. Dave Payton, Michael Dean, Jeff Smith, and Noah Blackwell all came in. I think at least a couple of those was for damage also, not just tires.
I think everybody you just mentioned actually has retired from the race. Certainly Blackwell, Smith, and Dean have. Josh Kreider has retired as well. So 4 of the 24 starters have called it a night. Pascal Samar, not sure what happened, but he never took to the starting grid. So he will get his provisional for the season tonight. Like I said, I commend every driver that came out here tonight to give it a go, Samar included, but I don't really blame anybody on the flip side of that coin for not wanting to do this race. This has proven to be a challenge. Matt Schlosser from 4th has noted that he will be pitting this time.
And J.J. Wang's in the pits as well.
Yes, he is. So 3rd and 4th into pit.
We're right here at the halfway mark, so not a big surprise to see JJ come in here, hoping to maybe get a little bit of time on the 2 in front of him there, and Glosser hoping to leapfrog maybe JJ Wang. I mean, they were fairly far apart there.
Yeah, I think they were about 7 seconds apart. Wang was floating between 3.5 and 4 seconds behind Caleb Bensey. Not that you couldn't find that on an undercut eventually, but you also have to keep up the pace with it. So who knows? Maybe a new set of 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods is just what the doctor ordered here for JJ Wang. We'll have to find out.
Broman is back to the pumper of Barry here. I know we've watched this one a lot here tonight, but it's just the battle that keeps on giving.
I'm
Broman
sure
was within about a half a truck there after they had gone through the first 2 turns.
I'm sure Barry's probably tired of seeing the pink 00 in his mirror by this point. Oh, and man, I swear Broman gets very close to that wall every time, if not scraping it every time.
Broman usually struggles in that part of the track, getting it back out onto the oval, but has stuck together here.
Luckily, Kyle Zittel had a little bit of a window there. He spun and came to a stop sideways in the bus stop, but keeps it rolling. Or gets it back rolling, rather.
Oh, Vroman gets to the inside of Barry here.
Great drive off, and Vroman is going to move up.
Vroman has been so good on the exit out of the bus stop all night, makes it work there. Barry spins the tires. Oh, and Barry slides it into the chicane.
Oh, man. Oh, he is all out of sorts. I would imagine 28 is going to be hitting pit road next time.
Yeah, over halfway point now. Halfway points have paid.
Yes, they paid at the end of that lap right there. So Barry will come away with 3 extra points. But just think, every lap that you go further here is one less lap you have to do on the new tires at the end of the race. It's a struggle.
Well, here comes Caleb Bensey.
Bensey in. Troy Thomas is going to follow him in as well. I want to mention while we got a second here, kudos to Troy Thomas. He has been very vocal about where he is going on the track to let faster traffic go through. Great driver. Always appreciate having him here. Even though it seems like we haven't got to call out his name a whole lot, except for in the finishing order. He'll always sneak up, take away a top 10 out of the blue. But really love having Troy here in the league.
So Bensey, Demade, Cody Claiborne all on to pit road this time around.
Mike Berry is going to hit pit road as well. Not a surprise.
Steve Roman comes in here as well. Rowan Holt does stay out. So of the top 10 here, Holt and Sanders. Well, here comes Sanders.
Yep.
So Holt is the lone man left standing right now.
Paul Ellison now in as well. Ellison, the first truck lap down. Again, no cautions. But it's worth pointing out that Paul Ellison is in the 11th. Gavin Sanders is just on blistering pace here, a Verstappen-like performance up to this point, across halfway in the R.I.P. Roval 200K.
And Wang has leapfrogged Bensey on the pit stop here.
Yes, he has. He said it might be close, and Bensey stayed out a couple of laps longer than I thought he was going to be fair, so that certainly helped. But now Bensey, with the fresher tires, tracking down J.J. Wang for what will be second.
You know, I actually thought Bensey would maybe try to stay out longer than Sanders to get lead lap points there, but did not.
Well, normally, in a normal season, I would say yes. That's definitely worth it. Bensey, even if he gives up points to even J.J. Wang or to Gavin Sanders tonight, will still have over a race lead. As I just now realized, Hunter Engrave is not here tonight. And Hunter Engrave had been putting in nice work the last couple of weeks. I mean, just chipping away at that advantage. So Engrave, I think, still has his provisional, so he'll get some points tonight, but certainly not a lot. And he was, a favorite to at least come away with the top 5, if not a podium tonight.
Yeah, and with that, it looks like Sanders will likely move up into that second place in the point spot.
Yeah, it seems pretty likely at this point, unless something really goes wrong here. Not out of the question. So we got over 20 laps to go.
Bensey starting to reel in J.J. Wang. Wang dealing with a little bit of lap traffic here, but really not much to deal with. Peyton pulls over.
Bensey, purple lap, 122.706. Purple lap of the race, not overall of the session, but of the race session. Does that make sense? We've seen faster, but not in the race.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I still can't believe that lap that Sanders put in for quali. The
That was-
121.7 is just unbelievable.
I'm excited to go after this race and see what some of the other times that have been posted here are. For as much as some of these drivers absolutely have contested this setup, and rightly so, Sanders has really seemed to have taken to it nicely for whatever reason. So I'm excited to see how that time stacks up.
Let's go ahead and go on board with Caleb Binsey here as he is tracking down J.J. Wang. Wang will not be somebody that's easy to get around by any means. We're headed out of oval, turn 4 into the chicane here. Binsey just carries a lot of speed.
Absolutely dogging him here. Lap truck ahead, I believe, is Paul Ellison, who's in 11th place. I mean, that is ridiculous.
Oh, Binsey gets some inside positioning here.
And great drive off the turn as well. He should take this spot outright here. It does.
Thought Wang was looking for a crossover there for a second. Couldn't quite make it happen.
See if he can get good drive out of... Oh, nope, he's going to hit the wall. I jinxed it before we even got an opportunity to see what happened. Let's say if he can get a good drive out of the chute there and back into the turn, he might have a shot to try the overtake again into the bus stop that didn't work for him in the first lap. That is not the case. He does a nice job, though. Binsey certainly babied it into the bus stop. Well, he made up a lot of time on entry. He's going to lose another truck length on exit here. As after pit stops, 10 trucks on the lead lap. It's Sanders, Binsey, Wang, Schlosser, and DeMade, your top 5. Johnson, Claiborne, Vroman, Berry, and Holt, your top 10. Binsey and Wang are the closest duo on the track for position, save for, I believe, Brantley Gainey and Matt Houston, who are 1 lap down battling for 15th.
And Gavin Sanders just turned his best lap of the race, 1:22.75.
Not the purple lap, but still Sanders putting in great laps here. I mean, it's not the purple lap by 0.05 of a second. That's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Especially at a pace that is, to be generous, 6 seconds faster than what I could do here. Kyle Zittel just had a problem through the bus stop. I think he's got it up and going again, and now we'll have Gavin Sanders right behind him.
Zittel will pull up high here for the 10.
It's a great-looking truck, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. I can't wait to see some more of it.
Surprised he didn't break it out in Atlanta last week. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Oh, Matt Johnson, I think, just went... Oh, no, that wasn't Matt Johnson. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Roland Holt, actually. Yeah, it was Roland Holt. Just went way wide, right in front of Gavin Sanders. So that'll put Holt a lap down now.
We're just going to keep counting them off as they come. That's up to 10th place now for Sanders.
I mean, I think at this rate, he's going to get 8th for sure. Maybe 7th, although it's going to be close. There's a big gap between Claiborne and Roman at 7th and 8th. But certainly Roman, I think, is in peril of not finishing this race on the lead lap. Even though he's going at a pretty decent clip here. Just insanity. We saw this sort of dominance from Gavin Sanders at Interlagos, the largest margin of victory in series history, 58 seconds. I don't think we're going to get that between first and second tonight. But, I mean, 14 seconds when you got Caleb Binsey behind you is a lot. Oh, JJ out of shape there through the chicane. I thought he was going around.
Oh,
now going to have some hot tires here.
He basically kind of did. He was able to straighten it out. right as he kind of basically slid up to the outside wall.
Jeffrey Oaks in 14th just went through for a spin through the bus stop and is back up and rolling again. And Matt Houston has passed Brantley Gainey, I do believe. So move Houston up to 15th now.
Johnston and Claiborne pretty close together here as well, so little battle for 6th place brewing here.
Remember, Johnson, I do believe, was the first driver onto pit road, if I'm not mistaken.
Was Johnston came to pit road on lap 24, get 5 laps before Cody Claiborne did. Claiborne didn't come until lap 29 after taking the bonus points.
So Johnson backing up to Claiborne here, and will be trying desperately to hold on to the 6th position. It is 16 seconds up from Johnson to Dakota DeMade, who is in the final spot in the top 5 right now. So some work to do for Claiborne if he's able to get around Johnson for 6th. The only battle for position within a second right now out on the track.
And it was about a quarter of a truck length as
Yes.
they came out of the bus stop onto the big oval for turns 3 and 4.
You know the pass for position is coming when you measure in feet and not seconds. Johnson doing a nice job here. Claiborne has caught him in a couple of spots where it's difficult to make safe moves. Now they have a lap truck in front of them. I believe that is Jeffrey Oaks, if I'm not mistaken. It is, and he is gracious and pulls over to the right side. Oh, Claiborne a little bit loose there on the brakes.
Claiborne carries a lot of speed there.
I think with a car with more downforce, Cody would be itching to make this move into the bus stop. Yeah, it might still be.
No, it was, I mean, he sent it certainly harder, but definitely controlled. Oh, super loose and sideways. You're trying to put the power down, though. Loses quite a bit of time. We have seen that time and time again out of so many drivers tonight.
Super duper loose, even. It was a big one.
And he sends it here into the chicane as well. He is driving the hell out of this thing.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I think that's the opposite of what you want to do with the truck here tonight.
Johnson is playing some nice defense here, that's for sure. And really not doing a whole lot other than just not looking at his mirror from the looks of it. He's not really gone to cover or anything. He just keeps driving. Steve Roman in 8th is letting the race leader through into the heartburn turn. So 7 trucks on the lead lap now. This battle for 6th. These are the last 2 drivers on the lead lap. Bensie's pace is equal to that of Gavin Sanders at this point in the run. Unfortunately, they're separated by 13 seconds. The gap is coming down, but, I mean, not nearly enough here.
No, certainly not enough. And, I mean, Sanders is probably also out here just trying not to make any big mistakes.
Oh, here's the move. Claiborne was side by side there through the heartburn turn underneath Johnson. They both got a little bit loose. Claiborne rolls out of it. That's heads up driving. Closing in again.
Yeah, Claiborne all over the bumper, trying to force a mistake out of the 404, but haven't been many out of Johnston here tonight.
No.
One a little bit earlier, and that's about it. That was early on in this one.
Yeah, there are a few drivers that are paying for early mistakes in this race. And with no cautions, it's hard to overcome even one mistake.
Oh,
Johnston. I mean, they both did something wrong there in the bus stop, but Claiborne is going to get a great exit here. I mean, Johnson had the whole right half of his truck up over the turtles there on entry.
Claiborne looks underneath, gets onto the apron of the big oval here, and now looks to the inside of the chicane.
Wow.
Wow, that was close.
That was incredibly close. Johnson a little wiggly. I mean, into the wall there. Now Johnson is looking a little rattled here. Needs to find his rhythm again. He's got some space to work with for the first time in a couple of laps. Johnston 2 starts in Truck 200, both 21st place finishes. Kyle Zittel around through the chicane. J.J. Wang had to take evasive action not to pile in.
Claiborne catching the draft, sends it a little bit harder here into the bus stop. Wow, Claiborne.
Great drive off.
Just so much better out of the bus stop here than Johnston the last 2 laps. Johnston trying to protect the inside of the chicane here, but Claiborne is there. Claiborne super loose.
Johnson gave him plenty of room there. That's just a tough spot to pull that off. I mean, great job not to make that any worse than what it was.
It's just a really awkward angle to try to make the inside of that corner. And you'll be on the outside, then coming back off of the chicane onto the start-finish.
Dan Meglin was just running in the 12th position, spun out through the bus stop, and absolutely creamed the tire barriers. He is out of this race and disconnected from the session.
Wow, not up front, but boy, Claiborne and Johnston have been giving us some fireworks here in the second half of the race.
These are the last 2 drivers on the lead lap. Race leader is about 17 or 18 seconds behind him. I'm sure Claiborne at this point is just trying to cool his stuff down a little bit. Maybe trying to cool his mind down a little bit and get geared up for one more push here. This one's wrapping up here pretty quickly. We're just about to cross the hour mark in about 30 seconds. But only 13 laps to go when Sanders comes back to the line.
Sanders has caught back up to Houston. So passes Matt Houston for the second time, and now we'll get around Gainey.
And Gainey got that spot back a few laps ago from Matt Houston. 20 of the 24 starters still out and running here. Benty's pace has fallen off just a skosh. Sanders has been able to put up some better lap times, but again, it's sort of a moot point in the end because he's 14 seconds clear. As my scoring just went all wonky there. I'm not sure what happened, but Dakota DeMay dropped down to the last truck running all of a sudden, but he's just fine. And having
he's
a good run
still
here.
here. Still here, sitting in fifth place right now. He's about 4 seconds behind Schlosser, but Schlosser continues to put time on DeMay here. And
DeMay's forte, of course, is the road course racing, but I mean, he's having a great season otherwise. He's 6th in the points. He's obviously a champion driver with the Schaefer's Redacted Series. Champion Daredevil as well. Those are all open wheels. There's not a lick of downforce on this truck here at the Roval. But
No,
he's doing a fantastic job.
Certainly no downforce, and yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Even on the ovals, DeMay has played a big role in those races, has shown a lot of speed.
Oh, Dave Payton is around in the bus stop and is going backwards to turn himself around. And he didn't get disqualified, so that's good. We'll pick it up and keep going. I know you've got the proper sound mixing for the stream, but I turned the engine noise all the way down for this just to hear the tires cry for help. And they are absolutely screaming eternal misery here at this point in the run.
Yeah, and especially for Matt Johnston, who...
yes.
He
just got into the wall.
Problem.
Great timing there. I mean, for you, not for him.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll have to see what happened here. I think Johnson just sent it a little bit too hard there into that first corner and got into the outside wall. And yeah, that's exactly what happened.
But I mean, to your point that you were just about to bring up, he's got 5 lap older tires than anybody else on the track. That's almost 12 miles of older rubber on this truck. And he just had to play some stellar defense there for Cody Claiborne for the last 5 or 6 laps. I'm surprised that didn't happen sooner.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, he's going to have 30 laps on the tires here when we get to the end of the race, and that is such a long time, especially when he was battling as hard as he was with Claiborne for, I mean, probably 5 laps there just a few laps ago. Yeah, those tires are definitely hurting at this point. And I think Claiborne thought he had Johnston clear and kind of backed off a little bit, but all of a sudden, Johnston right back to the back of Claiborne.
Tire age is just a number. Claiborne, I thought, was going a little bit wide there, but just arcing the corner really nicely. And until we get the Sargent boys in Truck 200, Matt Johnson, the only driver to start a race from Maine. Doing a nice job here. And there's your little useless factoid. Just full of them.
Oh, Johnston!
I mean,
the track a little bit there. I think may have to give some time back.
Oh, I mean, I was watching Claiborne in front of him. Claiborne, I thought, was going around. I don't know how he didn't.
Yeah, Claiborne definitely with an issue there as well, but Johnston just went straight over the inside turtle through the blue paint.
he did have a furled black flag, and he did clear it, so he's all good to continue pushing. This is, I mean, literally, this is the only battle for position on the track. The next closest pairing is Roland Holt to Mike Berry, and they are 4.5 seconds apart.
I mean, these two have been putting on a show for the second half of the race.
Absolutely. Gavin Sanders, Caleb Bensie, J.J. Wang, Matt Schlosser, Dakota DeMay, the top 5. Cody Claiborne in 6th. Matt Johnson. All sorts of out of shape there in 7th. And the last truck on the lead lap. Steve Roman, first truck lap down in 8th. Oh, Kyle Zittel goes around in the chicane. He is having a tough time here. Once you get those tires hot, it's hard to keep them cool. Or to get them cool, rather.
And Sanders is not too far behind Johnson in 7th.
Oh, Cody Claiborne has gone around out of the chicane.
Wow, we missed that one. I'll go back and take a look at it here in just a second. But here comes Sanders to pass Claiborne, or at least attempt to here. We got Jeff Oakes on the outside here as well. A little bit of a precarious position here for the 5. Oh, wow, Sanders nearly
with a
into the
swipe.
wall.
I thought Oakes was going for a ride there. I think maybe Jeffrey Oakes thought he was going for a ride too.
So Sanders is passed up to 7th now. He got some help from Claiborne, unfortunately.
Jeffrey Oakes is 13th, and he's 2 laps down. Sanders' pace is just unreal.
This is the incident with Claiborne into the chicane and just comes in way too hot. Back into that truck, steps around on him.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Is right. So, all battles have subsided for the time being. Sanders continues. He has he's extended his lead over Bensie a little bit here. Oh, and Mike Berry's crashed. Ellison just got around him.
Oh, man, I was just about to say they were drawing pretty close together the last time around. Berry through the bus stop. So that puts Ellison now into the top 10. Berry back to 11th.
This is Berry into the bus stop here. Oh, he hits the outside wall on entry, and the truck just goes around on him. He was just trying to get a nice wide arc into the bus stop and tapped the outside wall, and it just unsettled the rear end of the truck. Sanders just crossed the start-finish line. 6 laps to go now.
Sanders has yet to finish outside of the top 5 in his limited appearances here this season. 5th at Daytona, 2nd at the Daytona Road Course. the winner at Texas, took North Wilkesboro off to celebrate, then came right back, won in Atlanta, and I'd say looking pretty good here at this point in the race. Would you concur?
Yeah, I'd say looking pretty good, but I mean, 17, almost 18 seconds in front of Caleb Bensey, but I mean, if he blows a bus stop, hits the wall or something, I mean, it's not going to take really too long for Bensey to get there, so you know, he can kind of take a little stroll here, but you can't take too much of a stroll.
I think that was Jeremy McKinnon that had gone around not too far in front of the race leader. Luckily, he keeps it to the outside of the track, out of the bus stop.
McKinnon had gotten all the way up to 12th place after starting from the pits. Has now gotten passed by Jeff Oakes after the incident. So now back to 13th.
Jeremy still having problems. Problems and trouble is trouble now. It's canon.
I think that's a real word, if you ask me.
I think it is now. I got to meet Jeremy a couple of weeks ago. It was it's exciting. You've got to meet several people from our sim racing escapades.
I have.
Jeremy is only the second driver I've met. So that was exciting.
Yeah, I've gotten to meet a couple of the drivers that are in the race here. Tonight. Cody Claiborne and Dakota DeMade. I was wondering if I might get to meet Paul at Talladega this last weekend.
I was wondering.
Never came up though, but that's all right. We'll be back, so I'm sure our paths will cross.
Oh, Gavin Sanders just had a problem. I think he made some contact with Troy Thomas out of the bus stop. Thomas, I think, had just gone around. But I'm going to say no harm, no foul. He picks up a 4X, but it could have been worse. We'll have to see.
Certainly could have been worse. Sanders trying to swap flies right now with only about 3.5 laps to go here.
The only thing that I would be concerned about here is I have no idea at this point in the run what the engine temperatures are looking like. You know, we saw Nathan Reynolds at Dirt Bristol in the Venom Truck Series pick up a little bit of damage running through lap traffic, and 2 laps later he was blown up and out. So hopefully the temperatures are okay for Gavin Sanders here, even just after a little shot like that. You never know.
Yeah, certainly not as much dirty air, though. You know, here on a road course, everything's pretty spread out.
And he's got enough of a gap as well. He can keep it at a low gear, maybe try to minimize any temperature gain. Matt Houston is around and is going to have to go back to the pits. He was completely sideways there in the chute section into the infield. That was going to be a stack up and a huge problem if he didn't. That's unfortunate. He was inside the top 15.
And by the way, that was Matt Johnston that Gavin Sanders just passed.
Wow.
So Sanders has passed up to 6th place.
I would say unless something happens to somebody 2nd through 5th, they are safe. In the relative sense, at least. Nobody's safe here on the track right now. Not even Gavin Sanders. We just saw it.
Oh, and Siddle's around in front of him.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Hold your breath moment there. They're just falling out of the sky in front of Sanders. Oy vey. Coming to 2 to go. He's only got 5 miles to put this one to bed. And not a whole lot of people in front of him. And by a whole lot of people, I mean there is nobody in front of him that I think he's going to catch in the next 2 laps.
Sanders probably wishes that he had headlights right about now so he could flash them when he's behind somebody.
That's the nice thing about ASRL. It's a fun toy to play with, for sure. Speaking of which, no ASRL this week. They are off at the testing week. They'll be back next week at Sears Point Raceway. Not Sonoma, Sears Point. Going retro next week. Wow, Gavin Sanders took a lot of turtle there through the bus stop.
Doing a little
all
wheelie
the way
celebration already.
all the way up on the left side tires there. So we got a lap to go to bring it home here.
We hadn't watched him much tonight. We spent the last couple of laps affixed on Gavin Sanders as he takes the white flag. 1 to go here in an 18-second gap to manage to bring this one home.
Looking for his 3rd victory in his last 3 starts. It would be career victory number 4. He's got all the time in the world. Dakota Domain had been putting up some nice laps on Matt Schlosser. I think he's going to come up just a little bit short here in the closing stretch. You can't say enough about this man right here. Gavin Sanders through oval 3 and 4. Came up 1 spot short at the Daytona road course. We're going to rectify that here tonight. Through the chicane for the final time, the R.I.P. Roval 200K goes to Gavin Sanders. In a distant second, Caleb Bensi charged into the chicane. And he is back to his podium ways. After a 27th place finish last week, it is P2 for the points leader. And how about J.J. Wang? After a career best 4th place finish last week at Atlanta, he goes one better here tonight. J.J. Wang is on the podium. The final 2 trucks on the lead lap working through oval 3 and 4. I mentioned the gap had closed quite a bit. Matt Schlosser. He is on quite the streak of great finishes right now. He will finish in 4th. Dakota Domain rounds out the top 5 in style. A slap of the wall, jumping the turtles.
The maid certainly gave it all he had to try to catch up to Schlosser there, just too little, too late.
He certainly drove the last few turns like a blind knight who uses echolocation. Thank you very much. Incredible. The inside jokes have come out. Gavin Sanders at start-finish, burning it down. It's become an all too familiar sight all of a sudden in Truck 200. His last 3 starts have resulted in 3 victories. at 3, I mean, pretty completely different tracks. And oh my!
Oh, he tried it. He just didn't quite have enough speed.
That's the drill spill right there. Ashton Crowder would be jealous. Wow.
Alrighty, Tommy.
That was a good race from a technician's standpoint. It may not have been the most entertaining race, but by God, these drivers absolutely wheeled and dealed it here tonight for 200 kilometers around the Roval. This is how the finishing results look. We just mentioned the top 5. We'll talk to Sanders, Bensey, and Wang momentarily as they take the podium places. Matt Schlosser, Dakota DeMade round out your top 5. Matt Johnston will finish in 6th. Cody Claiborne in 7th. Those two at the battle of the race. One of those two certainly gets driver of the day, in my opinion. Steve Froman will finish in 8th. Roland Holtz, a pretty good recovery, all things considered, will finish in 9th. Paul Ellison rounds out your top 10. Last truck, 1 lap down in 11th. Mike Berry. Great, solid, quiet night for Jeffrey Oaks tonight. Another one. He finishes in 12th. Jeremy McKinnon, after starting in the pits, is going to finish in 13th. Brantley Gainey, the same, finishes in 14th. Kyle Zittel. Boy, he had a tough night, but he kept soldiering on. He will finish in 15th. Daryl Klotz in 16th. Matt Houston came back out on track at the end there. He finishes in 17th. Troy Thomas will finish in 18th. Last truck running tonight, and hats off to Dave Payton. He finishes in 19th. Dan Miglin, first DNF in 20th. Michael Dean, 21st. Jeff Smith, 22nd. Noah Blackwell and Josh Kreiner, 23rd and 24th. It's podium interview time, and it's podium interview time for the very first time for J.J. Wang. Welcome to Booth 200 and Truck 200, partner. What a drive for you here tonight.
Hey, thanks so much. I want a revenge for that really poor showing yesterday. But happy to kind of talk to you guys here instead of yesterday.
Well, I mean, talk me through the race. It got off to a bit of a rough start there with the contact with Bensey through the bus stop, but otherwise it looked pretty clean here tonight.
Yeah, that was super my bad. I went down to the race first garage trying to find Caleb to apologize. That's just my fault. Going from an electric car to they couldn't be more opposite. There's no gears in an electric car, and here I'm just I'm manually blipping. So I just missed a shift. That's just what happened. And yeah, I feel bad about that, but I'm glad that we're both kind of able to continue and kind of resume the fight. After that, getting Caleb was just a stretch goal. Really, I had my eyes backwards to Slosher, but I was really surprised when I leapfrogged Caleb. But I think Caleb found some more confidence on second stint. So at that point, it was just bring it home, be careful around the lappers, and yeah, that's that's how it went down.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congrats on the P3, JJ. A tough task here tonight. We saw a lot of drivers, I think yourself included, find some speed throughout practice, trying to figure out this setup and track combo. Talk to me about your night through practice and then into the race, trying to figure this thing out.
Yeah. So I really just the setup seems really sensitive to conditions. So it's just a matter of getting the server early, seeing how the setup reacts to the surface, and then really just finding ways to get this truck rotated without in the right spots. The truck just wants to rotate everywhere. But if you can lean into the right apexes, then you can find a lot of speed just getting pointed in the right direction quickly. But yeah, besides that, honestly just focused on my shifting. That was kind of my downfall today. Just too many missed shifts in general. But glad it didn't end up in the junkyard.
I mean, the finishes across the entire season have been slowly trending right up towards the podium. I mean, they started great to begin with, and now you find yourself on the podium here. It's been a solid body of work for you all season long. Really happy to get you up here on the podium. Is there anybody you want to say hi to?
Yeah, I'd love to say hi to the Team Watson guys. I think Matt Johnston had a great race at 6. Shout out to him. Dan didn't have so much of a good race, but appreciate the support from all those Team Watson guys. Kudos to the setup shop for helping me figure out some of the temperatures coming in. TeamWatsonRacing.com to find our setup shop. And apologize to Caleb for me. I am like super sorry about that. It was just I feel bad about that.
Will do, partner. Congratulations on the podium here tonight, man. Go celebrate, and maybe we can get you a couple better next week.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, see you guys around.
All right, we will carry the message over to our second place finisher now, Caleb Bensey. After a rather rough Atlanta, I think it's fair to say. You're back to your podium ways here with a P2 finish here tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, pretty just I wouldn't say blah race, but yeah, relatively straightforward, I guess. Yeah, it has some frustrating moments for sure, but I mean, ultimately kept clean, kept out of the wall, and kept going straight.
Well, I'm sure one of the frustrating moments you're referring to was the contact there on the opening lap with JJ Wing, which I've been told to pass the message along that he is very sorry, took 100% of the responsibility for that. That certainly did not help matters, but you both carried on very nicely afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's pretty easy to do, but yeah, like I knew me and Gavin were both gonna try to take it easy on the start, and you figure someone's gonna try to make a aggressive move to take advantage of it, and I kind of figured he was gonna overshoot it, and was able to avoid the brunt of like bad contact if I were just to turn in like usual. So thankfully I was kind of expecting it, but and yeah, like Gavin definitely had pace on me for sure, but just felt like every time I caught a lap car, he'd almost put it in the wall or do a half spin right in front of me, and just would lose a ton of time over and over and over again. But I mean, even if everything went right, I still think Gavin had pace. But yeah, I always wish he could be a little closer. But ultimately, I felt like second was probably what I deserved for sure.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congrats on the P2. When you coming into tonight, had you had much practice, and were you optimistic, or maybe thinking that it seemed like from the start of practice, Gavin had quite a bit of more speed than you, but you were finding some here as the session went on?
Yeah, I can speak for me and Gavin. That we don't really practice until we hop in. Just kind of send it and see how it feels. And yeah, it was pretty loose, but I mean, it was fun. You just, I mean, it's the way you drive this truck at most road courses. You just can't overdrive it. 'Cause ultimately, you don't really get any payoff for overdriving it. So just kind of find that limit, what you can get away with, trying to limit rear rotation. The hardest part for me was braking. There was a lot of wheel hop. Like in Daytona, I was actually really surprised with how much you could just kind of send it into a corner and it would stick. But here it was much trickier getting into both of those chicanes. So outside of that, like I said, it was just kind of trying to find the safe balance of decent speed and not wrecking and killing the tires. And I mean, I think we both found it, and he found it a little better than me for sure.
Oh, it's an awesome run tonight. Regardless, back on the podium here tonight. Anybody you want to shout out or say hello to?
Yeah, obviously, thanks to you guys as always for the broadcast. And my grandma texted me already, so she's watching, enjoying it as always. So, yeah, amigos to Kira. If you're in this Stowe, Northeast Ohio area, check them out. And yeah, any other family and friends who are watching as well. Always good to get a podium for sure.
As always, shout out to the Bensey clan. Hello, Grandma, as well.
Yep.
Hope to talk to you again here very, very soon. But in the meantime, go celebrate the podium here tonight.
Yep, will do. Thank you, guys.
And now, third start in a row, third victory in a row. Gavin Sanders is back on top here tonight. Welcome back to the booth. You're not gone for very long. You've almost got as much booth time as Matt at this point in the season.
Oh, God.
But, man, oh, man. I mean, another fantastic drive for you here tonight. I mean, walk us through the race.
Yeah, I think overall, from the first laps of practice, I realized that we were in for an interesting one. Not that the setup was, I enjoyed the setup quite a lot, but there was a lot of displeasure from other people. But no, it was all around fun. Just I think managing the slide, and this kind of seems like how it should be for trucks, at least. Most NASCARs, it's just overpowered. It's kind of a dart, and then you got to kind of find your rhythm and settle in and run the stint as consistent as possible while driving as nicely as possible. Overall, I think the lap cars were good. Everything was good. Everybody was very respectful, and yeah, I didn't really see a whole lot of racing, unfortunately, but I think it definitely kind of showed off kind of the top 5 versus everyone else was a quite a large drop off. So it kind of showcased car control and tire management and everything, and that was cool at least. So I had a good time.
Matt, what do you got for the race winner?
Well, congrats on the win. You have found the top spot of the box a lot here as of late, not only here in Truck 200, but 4 consecutive wins in the ASRL Sports Car Championship as well. Were you coming into tonight with quite a bit of confidence, or not really sure what to expect?
When I think it was Sunday evening, some people in our group were doing some laps and were vocal about how difficult it ended up being. So I was anticipating an entertaining one, but again, I think Caleb spoke on it, but we don't do a whole lot of practice. We just kind of jump in. I've been busy the past couple of weeks with a new job, so just managing that ends up with not a whole lot of time to test out setups and get prep. But I think the hour beforehand was plenty, so worked out pretty good.
Well, I appreciate you and the other 2 podium finishers as well dancing around how bad the setup was tonight. But I'm glad at least some people got some enjoyment out of it. It was certainly challenging, maybe a little bit more challenging than I wanted it to be. But rest assured to all the drivers, this is the last Cook Customs setup shop that will be hitting the track here this season. So
everyone loves a lot of extra rake. It makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, you come out on top regardless here tonight. So anybody want to shout out or say hello to here?
Big thank you to Team Raceverse, Stowe Motorsports, all the partners that come along with that. You guys for putting on an awesome series and a great broadcast. And shout out to Caleb's grandma. Like, thank you for watching. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. And hello. Other than that, yeah, we'll see you guys next week, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be
Sounds
here next
good.
week and ASRL next week as well. So
Heck yeah.
plenty more opportunities to get to talk to you here. So, appreciate the time as always. Congrats on the win.
Thank you guys. We'll see you.
By the way, Gavin Sanders, this happened a while ago, but he is now the winningest driver on the Turn 200 channel. I think this is, gosh, let me go look. I don't even know if I've updated it. It's in the double digits now. He's the only driver in double digits on the channel win list. He has 14 wins now on Turn 200. Next closest is 2 drivers tied with 8. So, and that's across Daredevil, Truck 200, RAL competition, Thunderdome. Like, he can do it all. He's the Swiss Army knife. And is on top here again for the 3rd start in a row in Truck 200. Matt's the Roval. It's over. Maybe it wasn't as wild as we thought it was going to be. Definitely as challenging as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, certainly a tough test for the drivers, but at the end of the day, I think that's what kind of made it interesting. And nice little shout out to Cody Claymore and Matt Johnson for giving us some great TV there in the second half of the race. Want to give those 2 a special shout out. That battle was something fierce there. So what a show that they put on for us. And thanks to everybody for watching. Caleb's grandma, Legacy the first time. Gavin Sanders himself was here in the chat before the race got underway. And anybody else out there, thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, think about subscribing to the channel. Almost to 500 subscribers. Well, we're Kind of almost there,
Close.
yes. So we need a little bit of help. We need some help from you and your friends. So if there's anybody else that might enjoy what we do here, please let them know. And yeah, that would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Lots of great stuff coming your way here this week, although a little bit less than normal. Of course, we're still off on Tuesday nights for the Men of Truck Series. They are back in 2 weeks at Daytona. Back next week is ASRL. They are off Wednesday. That means our next stream here is Thursday nights at Kansas with a Maximum Velocity Racing League. And then on Sunday afternoon, the Daytona Moto Course for the Porsche Mission R Challenge. That is what we've got between this Monday and next Monday. Of course, next Monday, it does not get any easier. We are at Bristol next week.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Mother Mary. It is going to be a race on the calendar next week. You are definitely not going to want to miss the spectacle that is the last great Coliseum for the first time in Truck 200. And we appreciate everybody who has come out and supported the channel, come out and supported the series, and the drivers of Truck 200. We all greatly appreciate you and your time. And hope to see you back here again very soon on Turn 200. Until we meet again, for the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. We are saying so long to the Charlotte Roval, and great job to Gavin Sanders, who wins his 4th career Truck 200 race.